So here we are on your wedding day. If we can travel back in time, we've got Mr. Power Ranger and Susie. I have a lot of hair, and you can remember kind of the excitement of that day. It was going to be the beginning of a new life, and so many exciting things are going to happen. She believed that you were going to be the perfect man, and you believe that, man, she's going to be the greatest wife ever and never have any problems. And you know what? Frankly, you're finally going to get all the sex that you would ever want. But then kind of reality sets in, and you begin to realize that you're both still have a lot of imperfections, and life just isn't quite that easy, that simple, and you begin to learn about mood swings and different time periods and so forth, and life gets a little more complicated. We've already talked about how kids can affect this, but what happens is, as you kind of muddle through, you begin to look for other outlets, other things that can kind of satisfy what you're after, and it's kind of like this black powder here. We think that it's pretty safe, and that's what black powder is. It's pretty stable. It's not going to blow up in my hand. I can throw it on the ground. It's no big deal. As long as I keep it away from heat, we're doing okay. And we kind of will feel that way about some of the things that we pursue in our sexual life as men. And we kind of look at TV shows, we might watch a movie that kind of pushes the edges a little bit and really starts kind of showing some stuff, and we kind of put that into our mind and into our life. And we go, hey, it's no big deal. It's really just safe. It's not going to affect my relationship with my wife. We're still okay. Oh, but Susie's taking it hard. She's already falling down there. But you know, time goes along, and we go, well, you know, that wasn't so bad in that show or that movie, and so we watch something that's a little more racier, that has a little bit more skin to it, something that gets us a little more excited. And once again, we kind of add a little bit more into our life, into our mind, into our sex life. And we go, it's okay. We might even tell ourselves this is harmless. We might even tell ourselves that this is healthy. That, you know what, this is just kind of who I am. It's inescapable as a man that I'm going to look at these things. But things kind of progress along, and we might even go so far as looking at some stuff on the internet. Pornography is everywhere. It's easily accessible. It's one click away. It's hard to even look at something on the internet and not have an ad pop up on the side that's inviting us into something else, into looking at pictures or getting into a conversation. We go, it's okay, you know, I'm just looking. It's no big deal. And so I add a little bit more into my life. It's not really affecting my relationship at all. You know, as long as I keep it away from the spark, because we all know what really is going on here is the bad thing for my relationship with my wife is, you know, if I would cheat on her, we won't do something big and stupid like that. We know that, you know, the big deal is, you know, if we would cheat on our spouse, you know, we're not going to be that stupid necessarily to go out. And none of this stuff, this little stuff, the movies we watch or the stuff that we might mess around with on the internet is going to really affect that. But you know what? Guess what? Most men are going to be pretty secret about that. They're not talking to their wives, and guess what's happening? You're building a lot of distrust between you and her. And it's been shown that when a wife kind of finds out if her husband has a pornography addiction or is involved with that stuff, man, it really damages the relationship. She begins to wonder, how can I ever trust him? Am I not enough? Am I not satisfying my husband enough? And it's just kind of putting this stuff, we kind of still think, well, it's no really big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just kind of the way that I am made as a man. But that's not true. Even though like black powder is kind of stable and you just have to keep away from heat, as we build this more and more into our life, into our marriage, it begins to have an effect, and it really makes us and puts us into a dangerous situation with our relationship. There was an article done by Time Magazine about 3-4 years ago where a lot of divorce lawyers got together, a whole association, and they were noting that there had been a change in what was one of the contributing factors to divorces in America. And they said that in 50% of the divorces over the last 5 years, pornography addiction was at least a piece of the puzzle there of what made that relationship fail. They said they really hadn't seen this 10, 15 years ago. It wasn't as big of a deal, but because of the internet and the ease of use, it's becoming more of a damaging thing. There are some out there that say, hey, this is all natural and this won't hurt. But it does. It's dangerous. And we've got to be smart as men to know what really are the boundaries that God has set up for us. This isn't about saying sex is bad. This isn't about saying that just because we're attracted to women or we're attracted to the things about feminine things, that, you know, that's the way God has designed us. It says in the Bible that we are to enjoy our wife. We're to satisfy one another. In fact, Paul wrote that we're to be careful not to keep ourselves away from one another so that we would cause each other to sin or to slip up, to make sure that we're satisfying each other's needs. So we've got to take responsibility for this, men, and stop thinking that these negative things that we're putting into our life are really harmless. They aren't. They're dangerous. And what's going to happen is, even though you go, it doesn't matter, I will never light the fuse, I would never cheat on my wife, you really aren't in control of that. It's damaging and destroying more things about your relationship than you're willing to admit. And if you keep going down this road, you know, it looks good on the outside, this wedding cake, you look like that happy couple, we got flowers, she's happy, but really there's a ticking time bomb inside your marriage. And you've got to take responsibility for that, or this is what's going to happen.